You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Welcome to Wenz World.
It raises the hair on the back of your neck. It is all about college football and the traditions and the passions.
And that's exactly what's happening when, the object of our affection is nearby.
I mean, for you, it's something that you love. And
I love animals.
Yeah.
They're so tasty.
Yeah, right. Not exactly what I meant, but that's great.
I'm totally stealing that now. That's fantastic.
Clean debauchery.
Clean debauchery.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Swiping left, swiping right with the voice.
Family lip kissers.
It's weird.
You're just so close to tongue. It's untenable. You can't do it.
I know that's right. Welcome back to Wenz World, where variety reigns.
Sports? That's what I'm talking about.
We're all in Wenz World now.
Everybody loves the game of football, especially college football in the South. It's practically a religion. Instead of going to church on Sundays, folks go to church on Saturdays. And with me right now is the CEO of the College Football Hall of Fame, Dennis Adamovich. How are you?
How are you doing, Joey?
Fantastic. Thanks so much for making the trip down here.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to talk about the Hall.
And you know what? I've never been to the College Football Hall of Fame, and it's a relatively new thing. It's been around for, just a couple years now, right?
Yeah, we're coming up on our second-year anniversary. So, yeah, we are relatively new to the city of Atlanta, and something you have to go and see and do. And I got to get you down there. We have to have you experience it.
And it's not far from Phillips Arena, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, we're right in the core of right next to Olympic Park, right next to the Omni Hotel, where all the other attractions are. So it's easy in, easy out, and it's a great day.
So take me through the tour. Let's say I'm walking in for the first time. I'm a huge fan of college football. I'm going to see a ton of helmets, right? Over 760 college football helmets.
Yeah, so the experience is a unique experience probably you've never done. The first thing you do is you get your all-access pass, which is your ticket, but it's basically a lanyard and an all-access pass to the College Football Hall of Fame. When you first come in, you get registered. You register your name and your team, who is your favorite college team.
Villanova.
And there you go. So Villanova to Joey would now be recognized through the entire experience, your 2.5, 3 hour stay at the College Football Hall of Fame. And the first bit of that customization is we have a helmet wall. We have every single helmet from every division, 774 helmets.
Wow.
Exist on that wall. Once you register, your helmet lights up, and it shows where you sit in all of the football helmet world. And that's the start of the experience. We're a 100,000 square foot facility. We have 3 floors. Very first floor is the College Football Hall of Fame itself. It is where everybody is memorialized from a college football, Hall of Famer.
Whoa!
But the unique piece to it is Joey from Villanova. When you walk in there, it will pull up everybody from Villanova that's in the Hall of Fame, and allow you to take a deep dive in all the content that exists on those players and that team. And then you can explore all the other teams and all the other state schools, and take a journey from there. We've had people stay up in the Hall of Fame itself for 2 to 3 hours just looking at all the content that exists. And then you go down to the second level, and that is where you are immersed in all of the passions and traditions of college football. There's memorabilia throughout. The unique piece of the College Football Hall of Fame and Chick-fil-A fan experience is we have the memorabilia from college football and the traditions of college football, but we take it one step further where we actually immerse you into a lot of experiences. And on the second floor are all those experiences. Joey from Villanova will now be calling the game on the game day desk with the anchors from ESPN. And every single experience that you do gets dropped into a digital locker. That's your digital locker. So you can then walk away and share it with your friends, from face painting to karaoke fight song to you can call your own game from an audio standpoint. But all of that is customized to you. So that's the really cool part is, it is such a personalized immersion into college football as you're seeing all of the artifacts and the history and traditions of college football.
Well, it's so cool. And in case you're just joining us, I am with CEO of the College Football Hall of Fame right here in Atlanta, Georgia, Dennis Adamovich. And I'm looking right here. I get to join virtually ESPN analysts Chris Fowler and Desmond Howard at the iconic College Game Day desk. That's so cool. So I don't actually have to be good enough to be a college football analyst, but I still get to kind of call the game, as you mentioned.
Right. So you're a radio guy. Nobody sees your face very much.
That's a good thing.
This pushes you on TV, right? So you get to see yourself on TV. And most people don't get to do that. And that's a pretty cool experience. And we have a lot of great corporate partners, Chick-fil-A being one, but we have a new experience coming on board with AT&T, which is going to be a virtual stadium experience where you actually immerse yourself into a 360 experience through Oculus glasses.
Whoa.
So, yeah, a lot of fun. And it's for all ages. People think that you can only go there if you love college football. This is about an experience, and it's anybody from 5 to 85 will enjoy themselves. College football is just the theme that you're carrying through, but kids and families absolutely love coming here because not only do you do all the experiences we talked about, we have a football field, 40-yard football field, where you actually do all the skills like the college athletes do, from punting to passing to kicking. You get a try on a real field goal, full-length field goal, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to blow off steam in the air conditioning, especially when it's hot out like it is right now.
Yeah.
And have a good day.
And you're talking about the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl Skill Zone, right?
That's right. So, yeah, the Peach Bowl, Chick-fil-A and the Peach Bowl are a big partner of ours, and they have this skill zone that are on our overall field that, you could spend a whole day just on the field itself.
That is so cool. Now, I noticed there's also a movie showing room, right?
So, yeah, on the second floor, we have the Game Day Theater.
Ooh.
And the Game Day Theater is a 4K film, 10-minute film. It raises the hair on the back of your neck. It is all about college football and the traditions and the passions and all the players, and it has Hall of Famers talking. And it is a spectacular film, 10-minute film.
That is so cool. Now, my ears are burning because there's an NFL fan out there saying, you know what, I don't really care that much about college football. Tell us about the established connection that you guys have with the National Football League.
Well, we look at ours, though we sit squarely in college football and we sit in the middle of football, meaning you come through high school, you come into college, and
right.
You go from college into pros. All of that's football, and we want to celebrate football. We celebrate college football. But we partner up with the NFL. We were just recently at Draft Week. We had an exhibit there for the College Football Hall of Fame, and we were the number 4 visited attraction of all the attractions that they had at the NFL week. And we're getting ready to go to Super Bowl with them as well. So football is football. We want to make sure that we celebrate all of it.
That is so cool. And again, if you're just joining us, we are with the CEO of the College Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Dennis Adamovich, on Twitter, right?
Yes, we're on Twitter, and you can find out everything that's going on with the College Football Hall of Fame through cfbhall.com.
And Dennis, I love that this is a family thing. You can take your wife and your 2 kids, and, it's not really expensive.
No, it's actually a great value for the money. And if you look at all the other attractions in the Atlanta area, it's $19.99 for an adult, $16.99 for a child. So it's a good value proposition and a great day, and it's for 3 hours working, what else could you do in an air-conditioned and environment, and you blow off some steam with the kids?
And I love the fact that you guys give free admission to retired military people.
Yeah, so, the foundation of what the College Football Hall of Fame sits on, which was Douglas MacArthur, was always about the military. And we made a decision about a month ago to allow, the military to come in with, active military to come in with, as long as they have an ID, we welcome them for free.
And of course, if you have kids 3 and under, they're in for free also.
That's right. So good family, it's a good family opportunity. And we truly look at it from a family standpoint, from 5 to 85. Everybody can enjoy that experience. You don't just have to be a college football fan. It's a great value, right? So
that's an awesome value.
You go to a movie these days and it costs you that. So,
yeah.
And this is a 3-hour experience or longer if you want it. Immersive experience and a great way to educate and learn and have fun all along the way.
I love the word experience because you go to a movie and it's hit or miss. But with this, you're actually going through so many different facets of technology, history, and just an overall dedicated effort to glorify the game of college football.
Yes. Most people think of Hall of Fame as a museum. We are much more than a museum. We that's why we call it an experience, Chick-fil-A fan experience. It immerses you into it. Yes, we have all the artifacts of college football, the traditions, the passions, but we are constantly taking and bringing you into a much deeper level for you and your team.
Wow. And again, you check out their website, cfbhall.com, and we've been with CEO of the College Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Dennis Adamovich. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure being here with you.
Break! Hello, Wenz World. On the other end of this short break, we are back with our Summer Soul Food Sud segment, featuring the scrumptious recipes of Ginny McCormack Aaron of Southern Sisters Radio and the beer wisdom of Aaron, the Beer Guy Williams of Beer Guys Radio. Back right after this.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Hey everyone, it's Amber Berry from Westside Yoga on Howell Mill Road. Connect with me on Twitter at Westside Yoga ATL. Listen to me on Sundays at 12:30 on biz1190.com. Come visit me at Westside Yoga on Howell Mill Road, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, this is Michael Loftus from the LoftusParty.com, and I'm here on Wenz World. You know, the show airs on the weekends, my friends, but every day is Wednesday in Wenz World.
I love it. It's Friday night, the mood is right, and you promised your lady friend a home-cooked dinner. Or you're home alone.
Watching Downton Abbey reruns.
With your boneless, skinless, tasteless, faceless chicken breast. What is a girl to do?
What is a girl to do?
Ginny McCormack Aaron back in Wenz World with our Southern Summer recipe of the week here. You can find her on Facebook, Southern Sisters Home, and of course her website, southernsistershome.com. Welcome back. How are you?
I am doing great. What is a girl to do?
What is a girl to I need to know.
She needs a new date. I'd say she needs a date with chicken roulade.
Not Colonel Sanders, but chicken roulade.
No, Colonel Sanders is too old for most of us. So no, chicken roulade, and this is one of the easiest things in the world to do. And you got to admit, we got a little burnout, we got a little boring going on in this country with our boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're wonderful. They're convenient. You know, you can pick them up, cook them up in short time, right? But they're boring, right. You know. So I know that in my house, I'm always looking for new and creative ways to kind of dress them up, jazz them up, and just make them more interesting. This is one of my favorite ways. Yeah, it is. You can, and you know, the nice thing about this recipe is that you can have a delicious meal and get a little of your frustrations out at the same time. You know why?
Do tell.
Because we're going to pound the chicken breast. What we're going to do, you see what I'm saying? Oh, that sounds awful. No, what we're going to do is we're going to lay our boneless chicken breasts, about 4 of them, out on a cutting board so that it doesn't go splattering all over the kitchen. You want to lay a piece of plastic wrap over the top and then go at it with your meat mallet. Now, if you don't have a meat mallet, I've also used the bottom of like a heavy bottom glass or something like that.
Okay.
Or a rolling pin, something. But you just want to pound those chicken breasts till they're about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. That's going to make them nice and uniform. You got it?
Got it.
Now, this is a fun dish, and it's not complicated, not at all. What you're going to do is you're going to preheat your oven to about 425. You're going to line a baking sheet with wax paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to brush your chicken breast with a little EVOO, which of course we know is extra virgin olive oil. You're going to lay them out in a single layer on your baking sheet. You're going to season them with salt and pepper.
Okay.
I mean, that's just every time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A little good kosher salt and some cracked black pepper is what you need there.
Nice.
You're then going to sprinkle on top of each of these flattened chicken breasts some feta cheese, oregano, some garlic, and a little bit of lemon zest. So what you do is you sprinkle this mixture on top of all 4 of your chicken breasts, right? Okay. Keep the filling from falling out the edges. And then what you're going to do is grab the narrow end of the chicken breast and start rolling. Okay? You're going to roll it up, just like you would roll up a jelly roll. Okay? You have 2 options at this point. You can tie it with some kitchen twine, which I know you probably have kitchen twine in your kitchen, right, Joey? Or at least you're a guy. I know you've got toothpicks.
Dental floss.
Hey, dental floss might actually work.
Yeah.
I never considered
that. And then after the thing's done cooking, I can just use it after I eat.
Get the chicken out from between your teeth.
Breath.
Yum. That's so appetizing. Or you could use a toothpick, and you want to just tie it or spear it at like 1.5 inch intervals, so the whole thing kind of stays together. Okay, what you're going to do now is you want to heat about 2 tablespoons of oil in a heavy, large skillet over medium-high heat. You're going to place your little chicken roulades right into the skillet and cook them on all sides until they're nice and brown. It's going to take about 10 minutes, right? Okay. Then you're going to transfer the chicken roulades to a small roasting pan, and you're going to put them right into the oven and bake them, right, for about 10 to 12 minutes. And if you want to test it with your meat thermometer, you want about 160 degrees.
Got it.
That's the safe.
That's key.
Now, here's the fun part. Joey, here's the fun part. We got to make a yummy sauce to go over this. Remember the pan that we sauteed the chicken in?
I do.
Okay. We're going to add to that some wine, some chicken broth, and some lemon juice to the skillet, right? You're going to boil it, bring it to a boil, and cook it. And you're going to scrape up any of the brown bits that are on the bottom of the pan. You're going to cook until it's reduced to about 1/2 cup. Okay. That's going to take you about 5 minutes. Now, you want to go over to those beautiful little chicken roulades. You want to clip those strings off or pull out your toothpicks, place them on the plate, right? And then just spoon those wonderful lemony wine brothy juice right over the top of those chicken rolls. I love to serve it with a little wedges of lemon wedges on the side next to the chicken. It's amazing. It's easy. This is easy to wet. And quite frankly, this is a hot date, if you ask me. We like a little spice in our life. You know what I'm saying? And this little chicken roulade recipe will give it to you, for sure.
Oh, you are so good to me. Ginny McCormack Aaron of SouthernSistersHome.com. You got to connect on Facebook. Southern Sisters Home up in the search tab. Ginny McCormack Aaron in Wenz World with our Southern Soul Food recipe. Thank you so much for your time today.
Great to be here.
This is Wenz World. Let's do it.
Time now for Sports Talk with Griffin Adkins.
How many wins will the Falcons have this season given their visit by Ric Flair in training camp? Woo! Is that what Ric Flair says? I love Ric Flair. I see that guy around every once in a while, and he barely can walk from all those days in the ring. But man, that guy gets you fired up like none other. Him and Jim Harbaugh, the 2 guys that can get me fired up and ready to fight. And I'm not even a fighter. But as for the Falcons, they're still not going to be any better than 8-8. I see them going 7-9. Matt Ryan is such a softie. Ric Flair can't even get him fired up. This team's trash.
We're getting boozy with the beer guy Aaron and the Wenz right here in Wenz World.
Back again getting boozy with the beer guy Aaron. Aaron, welcome back to Wenz World.
I missed you, Joey.
Oh man, likewise.
It's been way too long.
It has been. I've been having the shakes, having my beer withdrawal.
Well,
here.
We can't have that. That's a terrible thing.
And of course, our Southern sister herself, Ginny McCormack, was on the show earlier.
Yep.
Talking about some Pollo Locos.
Exactly.
Some crazy chicken. What you got up the sleeve?
Well, hey, listen, chicken's pretty mild out there, and she was talking with chicken with a little bit of garlic out there. So you don't want anything to really overpower your chicken. So you want something that's fairly light, and it's got a little bit of flavor, but nothing that's going to, again, really just kind of kick you in the teeth with the high alcohol content or a lot of roasty flavors and those types of things. So I'm calling for a farmhouse ale. And farmhouse ale is basically it's what's called a sour beer. It's sour beers are brewed with non-traditional yeast, and it gives it kind of a little bit of a pucker, kind of a little bit of a different taste to it. Farmhouse ales actually emerged in France and in Belgium and in those areas, and they are exactly what you think they are. They were the drinks that the farmhouse workers had during lunchtime. So, of course, back in the old days, you couldn't drink water because it would make you sick. So they brewed beer. And they brewed a farmhouse ale, which is basically a low alcohol by volume beer, maybe about 4% or so, that they could drink, refresh themselves, and get back to work in the field. So with that in mind, a Belgian Saison is the traditional one. And really, it's kind of a nice little effervescent flavor to it. It's very kind of fruity, but it's also got a nice little it'll cut some of the grease on there, and it'll make it just taste really, really delicious. My personal choice here in the Atlanta area or in Georgia would be the Orpheus Atalanta, which is a tart plum Saison. That one's brewed right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Another one is, it's called the Bière de Garde, which is the French version of that farmhouse ale. A little bit sweeter out there, but again, it's a really, really nice honey-like flavor that will go really well with that chicken. And Bière de Gardes are kind of hard to get. My personal favorite, you may have to go to Athens to get it because it's by Creature Comforts. They make a Bière de Garde that I think is absolutely fabulous, one of the best ones I've ever had. You can only probably get that, though, at the brewery, so you may be kind of out of luck, or maybe have to check some of the growler stores because I know they only have it on tap, and there's no cans of that just yet. So,
oh, man, you are full of the wisdom. You're like Encyclopedia Britannica.
You know what? I like that. It's like I'm totally stealing that now. That's fantastic.
You can catch Aaron and his buddy Tim, Beer Guys Radio, every single Saturday at noon on 920 The Answer. And, of course, always on demand, beerguysradio.com. And, of course, connect on Twitter. Keep the conversation rolling and going at Beer Guys Radio and at Beer Guy Aaron. Cheers, Aaron.
Cheers.
The Out of Control Atlanta Traffic Watch.
Oh, indeed, it is out of control. But let me tell you who is in control of giving you the very latest and greatest all things traffic. The voice of Atlanta traffic himself, Mr. Chris Monroe. Man, it just doesn't seem to be getting any better out there in Atlanta traffic. Give us the 411 if you can.
It has gotten worse every day. We've seen travel times on 75 in the mornings, the Northwest Expressway creep up near an hour from Wade Green to downtown. That's getting worse. 400 is backed up all the way to the Cadillac Ranch in Forsyth County. And if you don't know where that is, that's right at the corner of 369 and 400. You know where the last traffic signal is on 400? Like where nobody used to live, way up in the boonies going to Dahlonega. That's how far traffic is backed up every morning now. Plus, get ready this weekend. The downtown connector is going to be shut down all weekend. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be very slow all weekend.
Well, it might as well be shut down. You're not going anywhere fast.
Right, exactly. You know, but did you hear about the cap they want to put on the downtown connector?
Oh, do tell.
Oh, they want to bridge Midtown and downtown. So they want to, like, I don't know if you've ever been to Chicagoland, you know, where they got those oases over the expressways.
Never been.
You've got restaurants and gas stations. They call them oases. But what they want to do is, like, cover the connector with a canopy and put stuff on top of it so it all connects together. Now, how this is going to improve traffic and how much that's going to cost, we have no idea.
Well, I'm sure the taxpayers will find out eventually.
Just like with the Braves Station, or Braves Stadium, yeah, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Chris, you have that gleam again in your eye. Have you been fanning the flames of Tinder as of late?
Swiping left, swiping right with the voice. It's always interesting when you come across on Tinder somebody that you know.
Ooh.
Somebody that you know. And you always feel compelled to swipe right just to see if they're going to swipe right back so you'll get a match.
Right.
Well, such was the case with one of my long time ago former students that has now gone through college and has swiped right. We both swiped right.
So hot for teacher, huh?
Hot for teacher. You know, of course, keeping it professional, possibly.
Here's to you, Mr. Robinson.
Here's to you, Mr. Robinson. Man, I'm on a jingle roll today.
I love it. I'm pretty sure we could sell some of this time to local advertisers. Get Chris Monroe voice in your cuts.
The Tinder update now, yeah. Swiping left, swiping right with the voice.
In Wenz World. Friends, kick back and relax. Right after this break, we are back with Health and Wellness, featuring Westside Yoga founder Amber Berry and holistic nutritionist Margaret Schwenke. Stick with us.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Hello, this is Autumn Fisher, and you're in Wenz World.
We're going to chill, we're going to relax, we're going to talk to eating psychology expert Margaret Schwenke. You can pull the mic close to you.
Okay.
It's basically like pretend you're a drill sergeant. Like you're that close.
Okay. Do drill sergeants talk really close into microphones?
I think they talk really close into faces.
That's a good point. Super good point. Which I will not do. I will not get in your face.
No, it's okay. I don't mind. I like intense people.
Yeah.
Intense passion.
Yeah.
And that's what Margaret Schwenke has.
Yeah.
Margaret Schwenke is an eating psychology counselor. And there's got to be a lot that goes into that. Because I can affirm the late night craving for Cocoa Puffs and peanut butter and on everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And a lot of people are wondering why it is that they can't master this area of their life. And what are they thinking in response to eating and food and nutrition and whatnot? So eating psychology counseling takes a closer look at the science behind the science of nutrition. So it's more about the habits and beliefs that we have around food and how those things impact our behaviors.
Now, before the mics were hot, we were talking off air. So you talked about what brought you to this place where you're helping other people, and you mentioned you were really sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So everybody has their own story, right? And for me, the way that I arrived at this work was through my own personal experience and my own personal health challenges. And in 2008, I had some pretty extreme health challenges. And, you know, bottom line is I had the opportunity to question everything that I was doing in my life and my resulting health and how I was feeling, right? So basically I had compromised health. I was, you know, underweight and I had inflammation in the body and I was dizzy and fatigued and blacking out when I stood up and had, you know, rash on my skin. And so I went to some specialists, some doctors here that diagnosed me with a digestive disorder. I took some prescription medications for a while. And then what I understood after that was that wasn't really fixing the underlying root cause of what was going on. And so I did a pretty exhaustive search over the next couple of years on my own to find someone who understood what was going on within my body, because even though I had a quote unquote diagnosis, I didn't really understand how to heal it. After trying a bunch of different extremes, like energy healing and acupuncture and all of these different modalities, which helped me achieve like a little bit of healing, but not overall. I ended up working with a naturopath who really helped me understand, you know, my own individual version of health. It really created this passion, right? Because I went on this like long journey of my own health challenges and figuring out like this doesn't work for me and this does, and a little bit of, you know, healing, but not really. And so like for years, like I tried to figure this out. I ended up going on a really specific healing program, healing diet, through which I had to change like all of my behaviors. I mean, I broke up with my boyfriend. I quit my job. I quit, you know, working out strenuously because stress was a huge part of my experience. And it just took some time to heal and create a little bit of a different story for myself. And so through that period of my life, I became really, really closely in tune with the things that work best for me as an individual, and became super passionate about like the relationship of our choices to the result that we get, right? So like I make this choice, I get this result. I make this new, empowered, enlightened choice, I get to live this kind of a life. So I believe that we all have our best life available to us. And so if we're not experiencing it, it's just that we don't know how to get there.
I think it's so cool that you allowed your struggles to help you encourage other people to get out of their struggle.
There's so many people in the healing profession that are there because they've experienced their own version of suffering, you know, and they now understand their true calling or their mission, right, is to be able to bring that forth for good. and to serve other people. And I agree with you. I do believe that we are here to use our gifts and talents to serve each other. And it's a pretty incredible hypothesis, right? Like, I get to do the thing that I love most in the world and I'm super passionate about, and I get to help lift other people up at the same time. Like, how could it get any better than that?
I don't think it can.
I agree.
What are you noticing 4 years into this practice?
I am noticing that we have an abundance of information right now. We are more culturally evolved with regard to our information about food and nutrition, but yet we are sicker and fatter than we've ever been.
True.
And so, there has to be a disconnect between the information and how we're using it. And a lot of that space is occupied by our beliefs and our emotions and how we use food.
Margaret, if you could, give us some sure-footed steps to take as we begin this journey. So what are just a few things that we can do to help ourselves?
Yeah, so I think that really deciding to own this area of our life is the first step. We have to make a decision around our health and taking control of our health, because as you said, like, it's subject to, the latest and greatest thing that we see on the news, or the argument that we had with our spouse, or the traffic that we got into on the way to work. All of those things have the power to impact our decisions. So I think the first thing is recognizing that and deciding to make a conscious choice to take this area of our lives back. And once we do that, we can put a little bit more consciousness on the subject as a whole and create a little bit more mindfulness in our choices.
Very cool. And you can find a lot of this information on margaretschwenke.com, and I'm going to spell that out. MargaretSchwenke.
That's right.
.com.
You got it.
On Facebook, Margaret Schwenke Authentic Nourishment. So you mentioned the disconnect because of all the information. Is that because everything's conflicting? Like, this gives us cancer. No, 2 years later, it doesn't give us cancer. Coffee's good, coffee's bad. Wine is good, wine is bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
GMOs, HMOs, PPOs.
Yes, that's an incredibly good point. And I think that is a lot of the reason for the confusion, right? Like, we don't know what's right and what's wrong. And so it's this like overwhelm of information. And so we think that we're trying to do the right thing, but ultimately these are all external sources of information. And what I really work with my clients on is creating their own version, their own authentic version of nourishment. So what are the things that work for you as an individual that make you feel good? Like, for me, maybe that's eating a vegetarian plant-based diet. And for someone else, maybe they thrive and have more energy on animal protein, or maybe like yoga in the morning works better for me. And for somebody else, that, makes them super tired throughout the day. And so what are these things, and how do we make them work for ourselves?
Okay, Margaret, confession time. I'm kind of skeptical about this whole all vegetarian diet and whether people can actually enjoy it. How do people actually do that and enjoy life, in your opinion?
Well, again, it's back to this idea that we as individuals get to make the choices that we want to make. So whereas you choose to eat vegetables with your meat or meat with your vegetables, right? Like, someone else, that's not appealing to. So it's just having that understanding, right? That 360 degrees of understanding for who I am as an individual and what makes me feel the greatest. Like, maybe that individual grew up in a household where they didn't eat meat, or maybe there are ethical reasons why they don't believe in eating animals, or, for you, it's something that you love. And
I love animals.
Yeah.
They're so tasty.
Yeah. Right. Not exactly what I meant, but that's great. But there's just that respect for the individual choice within all of this, that really is the space that I want to help support my clients in figuring out what works for them, right?
This is such great advice. Thank you so much for visiting Wenz World, Margaret. Margaret Schwenke of margaretschwenke.com, SCHWENKE. I can't wait to have you back next week.
All right. Thank you for having me.
So sometimes I think too much, and to help me unpack and yet solidify all these thoughts into something harmonious would be Amber Berry, my chief yoga instructor and sensei. Welcome back to Wenz World, Amber. How are you?
I am doing great, and I love that I have an additional title now. You're sensei. How wonderful is that?
Yeah, it's cool. It doesn't come with any perks or benefits, but it's just kind of a cool title. So.
Yeah, but you and I know.
And Amber has been teaching yoga for 15 years now, practicing for 18. Connect with her on Twitter at Crazy Healthy, and her website is fantastic. Has links to all sorts of cool sources. crazyhealthyamber.com. Today, we wanted to kind of go into your backstory. So we talked a lot about the foundations and fundamentals of yoga, breathing, our sight line, and movements. But a lot of people out there want to know, where did Amber come from? So let's delve into how you started and the community and purpose behind this project that you call Crazy Healthy.
Well, thank you for asking. I've been practicing yoga for 18 years, and I found it when a physical therapist actually recommended it for chronic pain. I had some scar tissue from a car accident and was desperate to relieve the pain and reclaim some of the flexibility and strength I had had before the accident. And so I started practicing, and it was 1998, and it was kind of an underground thing, especially in Atlanta. I just fell in love right away. I just knew it was the strangest thing. I had never felt that way about anything in my life, where I just knew after my first class that I was committed for the rest of my life. It just became a passion. I was thirsty to know more. I always asked questions. After every class I took, I asked questions. And so I started practicing more and more, but trying to talk with it about my friends and to my friends and family was such a funny experience because they looked at me cross-eyed. You know, I started talking about the yamas and the niyamas and how happy this weird Eastern practice made me. The Deep South is pretty religious. And so it was just such an interesting experience, especially looking back on it now. I just always had this voice in my head saying, no, really, you need to know this. And people, weren't very interested in talking about it. And so I always felt like maybe I should be the one to teach people what this really means. And it was a calling that started pretty soon after I started teaching 15 years ago and grew stronger when I went through my yoga teacher training. So I started teaching actually before I got certified because there weren't really certification programs in the late 90s that came about around the year 2000. When I went through my teacher training and I saw the beautiful community at Peachtree Yoga Center where I trained, I started having this idea like maybe I'm supposed to create a community. And it was never about owning a yoga studio. It was about creating a sacred space where people could connect with this practice that is so enriching. So it was really exciting when I finally had the opportunity just about a year ago, last September, to finally open a studio. And it's actually within a medical center. And I've always viewed yoga as a health promoting practice. And it's not just about learning the poses. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves that we can be. So it's been an amazing journey. It's been a lot of work. I've been working around the clock for almost a year. And I had a moment yesterday, though, where it felt like my dream had come true.
Wow.
It was amazing. I took a friend of mine that I've known since college to her first class at the studio. She had broken her wrist last fall and has not been able to practice yoga since. She's been a yogi for a while. But so she agreed to meet me yesterday for a class. And once we got into the class and I showed her around, I looked around the room and there were all these people in the room that were part of my community and have been part of my life for a long time. My children's drama teacher was there. One of my neighbors was there. Our nanny was there who has helped me through this process. She's been invaluable. Thank you, Chelsea. And the teacher leading the class is someone that I've known for over a decade and whose classes I've enjoyed for all that time. And it was my favorite class I think I've taken at the studio since we opened because I saw my community around me in this sacred space and the vision had come true.
I love how you define it as a community and you're finding purpose within the community. And I think about exercise, the word gym comes to mind, and you never find that kind of camaraderie and common purpose. Seems more of a competition. What I'm getting from this conversation is that this program, Westside Yoga, is more of an enrichment program. Like you said, it's bringing something more to the table. It's a common goal.
Right. We're all gathering to support each other and becoming the best people that we can possibly be. And that's what yoga is all about. The whole goal of yoga is to reach samadhi or bliss, pure happiness. And when we're living in that bliss, we are living authentically. It's a very pure sense of joy. And so we all come together in this sacred space to cultivate that and encourage each other along. And there have been some yoga studios I've gone to where I have felt competition before the classes even started. And that has never appealed to me. But what really appeals to me is to walk into a place where I feel welcomed and I'm encouraged and supported no matter where I am that day. And there are days that I get on my mat that I want to meditate for half the class. And I tell my students that that's okay. Whatever you bring to the mat, even the most advanced practitioner, if they're really doing yoga, will have days where they want to take a lot of breaks. And that's part of what yoga is being honest and doing the thing that serves you the most.
Again, if you're just joining us, we've been with Amber Berry, founder of Westside Yoga. You can connect with her at Crazy Healthy on Twitter and, of course, crazyhealthyamber.com. And you got big things around the corner, right, Amber?
I do. We have a lot of really exciting workshops at the studio. We've got free yoga at Piedmont Park on September 26th. And I am actually leading the opening meditation at the Southeast Yoga Conference this year, which begins on September 30th. It's that whole weekend. And some of the most respected teachers in the industry will be presenting. I'm really honored to be on the bill alongside a lot of my favorite teachers, Steve Ross and Sarah Ivanhoe, Sean Tibor. It's going to be an amazing weekend.
So yogis, clear your calendar. September.
Everyone clear your calendar.
Yeah, everyone.
Yoga is for everyone.
Yeah, check it out. At least the opening meditation is complimentary. And of course, head to seyogaconference.com for all the pricing and listings and details beyond this. But this is really exciting. This is like the Mecca for Southeast yoga, right?
People travel from out of the state to come in. I've met people. I've been going for over a decade. This is the 11th year, and I think I've been to all but one of them. And I've met people from Florida and North Carolina. I met someone from Ohio. There are just people that travel to see these teachers because they are the best of the best. They've been teaching for so long and they really know what they're talking about, and they can change your life.
And it's not like your chopped liver. They're telling you, hey, come do the opening meditation. That's a big deal.
I'm really honored.
That's like
really
saying
honored.
grace before Thanksgiving dinner. That's a real honor.
That's a beautiful way of thinking about it.
You know what I mean? Before we all commit severe debauchery here, I would like to say a word of thank you.
Clean debauchery.
Clean debauchery.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. And you're going to find out when you visit Westside Yoga right here in Atlanta. Again, connect with Amber on Twitter at Crazy Healthy and her website, crazyhealthyamber.com. Amber, always a pleasure to have you in Wenz World. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Always a joy.
What do black hole burps sound like? Well, after this short break, Reasons to Believe's founder, Dr. Hugh Ross, is back to answer that question. Back before you can do your ABCs backward.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
I'm in Wenz World, and I love it.
Hello, this is Hugh.
Hey, Dr. Ross, it's Joey from Wenz World. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. I'm excited to talk about belching black holes. This is kind of cool.
It is cool. It's something I've been studying for, 50 years,
So for those of us who aren't super familiar with space and all of its mysteries, Dr. Hugh Ross of Reasons to Believe, reasons.org, what exactly is a black hole?
A black hole is a highly collapsed massive object, so collapsed that its gravity sucks everything inside of it that gets close enough to it, which is why it's black, because it can even suck light inside. So anything that gets close enough gets trapped inside and can't come out for a very long period of time.
So I guess it's our old friend gravity at play here.
When you get close enough to a black hole, the gravity is so intense, for example, that if a human being were to get close, the gravity would stretch out your body about 3 miles long into a stream of particles, and as that stream of particles gets sucked into the black hole, the particles get destroyed. So yeah, it's very, very powerful. And what's exciting of black holes is that when they're drawing matter in, as you're just outside what's called the event horizon is that spot of no return, where if you go closer than that, there's no way out. But just outside the event horizon, Matter gets converted into energy with 10% efficiency, which explains why gases being sucked into a black hole is extremely bright and can be seen billions of light years away.
Now, you mentioned gas getting sucked in. What happens when the black holes have gas, or burp in this case?
Well, when they talk about burping black holes, they're referring to stars and gas outside the event horizon. And there's a lot of chaos going on there. We're talking about the supermassive black holes that are at the center of every large galaxy. That chaos and the strong conversion of matter into energy leads to certain objects being kicked out. So gas pockets will be jetted away from the black hole. Stars will be ejected very strongly from the black hole. And in other cases, gas and stars get sucked into the black hole. So there's a lot of chaos. Because of the extreme amount of energy being formed just outside the black hole's event horizon, you get a lot of interesting phenomena. It's actually essential to have life in a galaxy that you have a supermassive black hole that is streaming the gas in and also streaming the gas out.
Now, are the burps impressive?
They can be very impressive. I mean, some of the galaxies have black holes at their core that weigh billions of times the mass of our star, the Sun. So these are hugely massive objects. And because of that great mass is why you have such incredibly energetic phenomena going on just outside the black hole's event horizon.
And in case you're just joining us, we are with founder and president of Reasons to Believe, Reasons.org's own Dr. Hugh Ross. He's an astronomer, and Reasons to Believe is an organization where science and faith converge. Dr. Ross is also the author of a few books, Why the Universe is the Way It Is, Hidden Treasures in the Book of Job, and Navigating Genesis. So, Dr. Ross, what are some things that we can learn from the black hole phenomena?
Well, a black hole phenomena tells us why that you can have ongoing star formation in a spiral galaxy. Every spiral galaxy has a black hole at its core. And the more massive the black hole, the more gas is going to suck in, but also the more gas is going to cause to be streamed out to sustain the spiral arms. For light to be possible in a galaxy, you must sustain the spiral arm structure for billions of years. And it's thanks to the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy that we have this very stable, symmetrical spiral arm system where the spiral arms have just the right spacing so that we can have not only life in our galaxy, but advanced life in our galaxy. It's thanks to the black hole being just the right mass and having just the right features.
Wow, so I guess you could say we're pretty special in that case.
Well, come Thanksgiving, you can thank God for the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy.
And, of course, the inevitable burping that will take place at the Thanksgiving table also.
That's right. Well, as the black hole burps, I guess we do too.
Dr. Hugh Ross of Reasons to Believe, Reasons.org. Connect on Twitter at RTB_official. Dr. Ross, it's always a pleasure to have you in Wenz World. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome.
This is Larry WACHS of the world-famous WACHS Modcast, Atlanta's #1 smartphone radio show on iTunes and Google Play. But that's nothing compared to Wenz World.
Larry WACHS, what are some good things that we can take away from the 2016 Rio Games?
The good thing about the Olympics is that it takes your mind off the other crazy stuff that's happening.
Right.
It's a diversion. That's all it's good for, though.
Yeah, sports the same kind of way. With the NFL season just less than 30 days away, I'm excited.
I don't know who's not dying for the NFL. I'm sick of the whole Trump-Clinton thing. It's just enough. I want it to be over already.
Me too. I'm ready for November. It's funny because baby Wenz is due on November 9th, which is...
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is right around Election Tuesday.
Oh, my God. That's a sign. That's a sign.
We're going to have a sign posted on the door. No politics. Once you walk inside this room, we don't want to hear about it.
You can make a sign for that.
A sign outside, no politics once you walk in this door. I don't want to hear about who's up, which states have been won, which states have been lost, who you want. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Most important thing is baby Wenz right now and the health and well-being of my wife.
So what's the sign going to say?
No politics henceforth, please.
You get some poster board? How are you going to put the sign up?
I'm going to use some computer paper and permanent marker.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just going to...
that'll drive home the message, or maybe you need something bigger?
Underlined.
I mean, it's very hard to refrain from politics on November 9th. It's going to be very hard. So you might need like a big, giant poster board. You might want to get a professional sign made.
That would be a good idea. What kind of font do you think would drive the message home?
I think a New Times Roman bold would be fine.
Most people can relate to New Times.
People respect that. It looks like their official letters on their email.
No Arial or Calibri or any of those.
You can put some areolas as long as it's surrounded by a breast. That would be fun.
It's funny. And
no politics.
You're a dad. Were you there in the delivery room?
Yes, unfortunately.
All my buddies have told me, they're like, whatever you do, don't look at what happens. You want to be behind her.
Let me tell you something. They're absolutely correct. I made that mistake. I actually videotaped it.
Oh.
I know, right?
Wow. Have you watched it since?
Yeah. Not pretty.
What kind of feelings and emotions do you get when you watch it?
It was like I watched a miracle happen. It was a miracle to me. Couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I took my eye off the camera because I wanted to be in the moment for a time. But when I watch it, the good thing is that it gives me that feeling again that I first had, that wonder, that awe. It's like, how does this happen?
Right.
I've read about it. I've heard about it. But now I'm finally doing it. And I hope it's not retarded. I just pray because she came out looking all slimy and, they look terrible when they come out. And she was fine. Everything was great, very healthy. But I just never forgot that feeling of shock and awe at the glory of this. I mean, it's a miracle. It's unbelievable. They say you're never ready to be a father. Something came over me in that moment that imbued me with the spirit of fatherhood. It just happened. It's one of those biblical things that they talk about. It actually, it causes you to be super, super responsible. Be a micromanager about somebody else. Never done that before, but now I had to be. So it's really something else. It's something else to experience.
It's funny the things.
Is this your first?
Yeah, it's our first.
Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. Come to me on November 10th and see if my notes don't match up with yours.
No, I'm sure they will. Well, it's crazy the things that I've never had to think about before, and now it's all of a sudden a reality. For instance, these family members that are lip kissers, that's what I call them. It's weird to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not about it. I was never
family lip kissers.
It's weird.
You're just so close to tongue. It's untenable. You can't do it. Why do that? That's the kind of kissing for a romantic love.
Thank you.
A sexual love.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the kind of kissing that turns you on. That's why they make lipstick to attract you to the lips.
Exactly.
Oh God!
Did you ever deal with that early on with your ex's family?
My grandparents did that a lot.
Ugh, it's just so gross.
Yeah, well, no kidding.
How did you handle that conversation, or did you just pull the baby away?
You mean with the baby?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant to me. Did they kiss the baby on the lips? No, I don't think they did. They're going to kiss your baby on the lips?
Well, these are things that I've already seen with my brother-in-law's kid. In the back of my mind, I've stored this conversation that has yet to happen, but will happen.
Oh.
Do not kiss my child on the lips. It's disgusting.
Well, I think it happens not out of a lust.
No, of course not.
I think it happens because that's where the kid naturally goes to learn how to kiss. I mean, in order to teach the basic kiss, you have to teach lip on lip because that's going to be really what a good kiss is all about.
Right.
They can't assimilate the information that's creepy. They're learning how to kiss. What is a kiss? A kiss is lip on lip. Later on, when they grow up and they understand the politics of everyday life, they can say, oh, well, this one deserves one on the cheek. That's like the advanced course of kissing.
Why can't that be taught initially?
Kid comes out of the womb. They don't have any political thoughts. They're not political. They have to be taught the rudiments of life. And one of the rudiments of life is kissing. And kissing is on the lips. That's the way real kissing is. So they have to learn the physical kiss first and foremost, and that is lip on lip. That's the default position for kissing. Later on, as they grow and develop and have kind of a political system in place and they understand better how the world works, you can teach them, all right, that's how you kiss, but not everybody gets that kiss. Some people get a kiss on the cheek, but not every kiss is lip on lip. You got to start at the basics. You can't teach them what it's like to be a 12-year-old when they're 1 day old.
So how did you handle that when you had a daughter? Did you kiss her on the lips, or did you just...
She goes for the lips.
You just let it happen?
To handle. There's nothing to handle.
Okay.
They don't know. So if you're putting the sexual component into it by suggestion, then they're going to think, oh, okay, that's wrong. But it's not wrong when they're doing it because it's innocent.
I get that.
You understand the concept of innocence, right?
Yeah, I guess.
All children are born innocent. innocent, meaning they don't have any
agenda,
right. Motives, political, sexual connotations to anything. It is what it is. And you got to teach your kids a kiss is this. Mwah, on the lips. That's what it is. They see you doing it to their mommy. Mommy's doing it to daddy that way. That's associated immediately with love. Love is what kisses should be all about. Then later on, they learn that, okay, not every kiss is pure. Not every kiss needs to be on the lips. That's later. That's the advanced course. But if you don't teach them the basics first, they're never going to learn.
Back in Wenz world with author Kate Sukol. She wrote this awesome book. It's called This Is Your Brain on Sex. It's critically acclaimed, and it talks about the science behind the search for love. Welcome back to Wenz world, Kate. How are you?
I am well, thanks. How about yourself?
Really good. You know what? Every morning I wake up and I see my wife laying next to me, and I think, what is this tingling, causing chemical reaction in my brain? It's almost like a drug. Can you relate to that?
I can relate to that. Although I don't know that I'm looking at my husband with quite those same eyes first thing in the morning, because he can be a little messy. But no, we have these brain systems, that are there that help facilitate love. And in fact, it's the same area of the brain that is involved with drug addiction. If you go back in time and look at some of the early studies looking at what areas of the brain were activated when a rat or different rodents were given cocaine, you would see these things like the ventral tegmental area, the caudate nucleus, these things lighting up in the brain. And that's exactly what's happening when, the object of our affection is nearby.
Now, everybody has different brains, so the bartender above never mixed the same drink twice. So what role does that have in dopamine release, and why does it differ from person to person?
So dopamine, people often call it the pleasure chemical, but really it's kind of a learning chemical. And it, along with some other chemicals, help us, formulate these bonds. But what we see is, because of genetics, some people may have more receptors on certain parts of the brain. Other people may have a lack of receptors. And in fact, there are some studies that suggest that autism, where there's a real lack of social attachment, maybe because there are a lack of certain types of receptors that help facilitate these bonds. Basically, your genetic makeup is going to help kind of decide whether you're the type of person that has lots and lots of dopamine or lots of these other chemicals like oxytocin and vasopressin, which is something that's been linked to, monogamous bonding, or maybe you have less. And that means that somebody may be more of a person who loves them and leaves them, and another person may fall in love, just after one date. I usually try to stay away from that guy, but some people like him.
Some people think that there's never too much of a good thing, but in this case, an overabundance of dopamine production has been linked to some serious nerve and brain problems, right?
Yes. So too much dopamine, it's actually been linked to things like schizophrenia. There's also some stuff with bipolar disorder. So that's not great. But for those of us who even, don't have psychiatric disorders, dopamine's released in all kinds of different situations. When we take risks, when we drive too fast, when we have sex. So like I said, it's really more of a learning chemical than a pleasure chemical. It's also released when we eat chocolate. I just ate chocolate, so my brain may be flooded with dopamine right now. So you don't want to just blame this one chemical for, all the trouble you caused on Tinder last weekend. But what you want to understand is that, it really is a powerful learning chemical, and it can influence how, when, and why we fall, and how hard we fall as well.
Swiping Right with Kate Sukol here in Wenz World. She can be found on Twitter at KAYTSUKEL and katesukol.com also. This has been great stuff. Next week I want to kind of get into epigenetics, or AKA it's all my mother's fault.
Exactly. Yes, I blame my mother pretty much for everything. And it doesn't get me anywhere really. But, genetics is a really interesting thing because, of course, we want to believe that there is one gene that can explain all of our worst faults. And, of course, it's a lot more complicated than that. Because, in fact, it may be your grandmother's gene that has totally messed things up for you. and we're only beginning to learn about how things that happened generations ago can really influence the way that we approach love, food, sex, so many things, and it's really fascinating stuff.
Wow. This is Your Brain on Sex. We've been with author Kate Sukol. Kate, can't wait to have you back next week. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's been great.
This is the Wenz, and I rely on
the voice of Atlanta traffic, the only one you need, Chris Monroe.
Thank you so much for listening, KLRN family. Hey, head to SoundCloud, up in the search bar, WENZ World. It's here that you'll find this episode with a whole lot more that I couldn't fit into this 60-minute block. In the meantime, I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.